The world is a stage, and it's the climax of Joker month this week as Shane and I discuss the brand new Joker Folie à Deux starring Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. This is Boy Party. Hello everybody, welcome to Boy Party, the podcast about movies where two major stars share the screen. They dance, they sing, they shoot, they stab, they laugh, they cry. I'm joined, as always, by my fellow inmate at the asylum. You wouldn't last an hour in the asylum where we make Boy Party. It is Shane. Hello. And this week we are discussing a major new movie, two of the biggest stars in the world sharing the screen. It's what everybody's been waiting for. Yes, industry actors Harry Lawley and Ken Leung on screen together.
On the big screen.
Harry Lawley, apologies, on the big screen.
As Dr. Lou, no less.
As Dr. Lou. We knew Harry Lawley was going to be in this as Harvey Dent. Completely unnecessary for that character to be Harvey Dent.
Absolutely, I was just about to say.
Just throwing DC a bone of like, sure.
I gotta go someone here.
But the Ken Leung appearance was a complete surprise to me.
Yeah, same.
Which was really fun. That's a fun person.
I assume it was to everyone because I looked through his credits list a couple of days ago.
Yeah, he's on the Wikipedia page.
Is he? Yeah.
Ken Leung as Dr. Victor Liu, Liu.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ken Leung showing up in this film would have made would have not really fazed me much a few months ago. But now I'm obviously a bit Ken Leung pilled after we started watching Industry. And also I saw him in Missing.
Okay.
The movie set on a laptop screen, which he was really good in.
Oh,
so now I'm like a big lung head. I need lungs to breathe and all that. So that was the best moment of this film, obviously, was when the two of them shared the screen for 1 minute. And Ken Leung declared...
You looked over at me through your giant armchair.
Great enthusiasm in my eyes. And Ken Leung shows up in the courtroom to declare that Arthur Fleck is not psychotic, and therefore his killing of 5 people in the first Joker was... intentional, not an act of madness, and he should go to prison forever. This episode is about Joker Folie à Deux. It's a sequel to one of the most successful films of the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Came out 5 years ago this week. We went to see it with the DCU Film Society. Shout out to my guys and gals from the DC Film Society.
I really do just kind of leech off the various groups you hang out with.
It is funny. Shane's got, free tickets both times. You might have paid a $5.
I imagine I paid the first.
But you leech off my groups to see these films. It is funny.
Yeah.
But the first one, Shane is currently holding a large hammer, by the way.
Not a hammer.
It's a Joker prop. It is a hammer, and he's going to boink me over the head with it in an Arthur Fleck style act of mad violence.
This is actually something significantly more Joker in that it is a pump for balloons.
Oh, okay. It looks like a hammer.
It does look like a hammer.
Looks like a hammer.
It's a bicycle pump.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't see the pump.
But it's funnier if I say it's for balloons.
Yes. There's no balloons in this film.
There should be balloons in this film.
I forgot that he is a clown, like a street clown in the first movie until they mention it in this.
He's not really a street clown as much as he's just like a guy that holds advertising signs.
But he wears like a nose and a wig, and he has a big advertising.
He's a clown for hire.
For hire, yeah. Clownsforhire.ie. We have an idea there. Okay. The Arthur Fleck Association of Clowns.
The inner workings of the clown.
Oh, we should start a clown union.
Union for the clowns.
And the Joker can be the logo.
The clowns are absolutely unionized.
We know they're, of course.
We know they're unionized.
What if we become affiliated with the clown union? I don't know.
Sure.
There must be some potential
reps,
there. Yeah, something there. So where were we? We went to see that film with the DCU Film Society. Yeah. I bought 25 tickets to see it in the Lighthouse on my account. I got loads and loads of loyalty points.
Oh,
shout out to those guys. I remember.
Is that like 2.5 worth of free tickets?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Where did we go for drinks after?
Did we go to Wetherspoons?
No, I think we did.
Which one though?
It was either Wetherspoons or it was.
Was it Wetherspoons on?
What's the place on
Abbey Street?
Well, no, yes, it was. It was somewhere. We either went there or we went to what's the place on Abbey Street beside the Academy, the bar there, Wigwam.
It definitely wasn't Wigwam.
Okay, it was Wetherspoons. We went to Wetherspoons, but it was like an outdoor area. I have never been to since.
It was upstairs.
I think it had just opened.
Yeah.
It was still a novelty to that. Yeah. Went there with the big gang anyway, and I feel like we dissected that film at the time, and our impression it was so hystericized. You folks, you kids who weren't 24 in 2019, you have no idea the amount of fucking people who were walking around saying
bring your bulletproof vest.
Yeah, but also
you are going to get shot.
The entire notion of X is my Joker, which has continued as like an annoying millennial slogan to this day, where I feel like it came up last. Barbie is my Joker. Like,
it stuck around.
Yeah, it stuck around. Like people associate that film with being
something that radicalizes you.
Yeah, something that radicalizes you, and something that certain people were really intense about.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting because that film has not got that level of cultural impact in any tangible way.
Not at all.
There are like 3 films that came out that year that have had more lasting effect on the culture, I would say. Parasite, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, maybe, and Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems, sure.
Like, all of those movies have had more, and Avengers Endgame, I guess, by default.
Howie Bling is much more of a Joker than
exactly. Those are all 2019 films that I feel like get brought up more in terms of like a screenshot gets posted as a reaction to something. Yeah. People are quoting them more. People are rewatching them more. I don't think there is a vast amount of people that are rewatching Joker.
I don't think so either.
And this film...
Because the people who really like Joker and probably want to go back and rewatch it have an endless stream of new slop coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that Joker, Folie à Deux, which is a film we've just seen, which has an incredible disinterest in pleasing fans of Joker 2019.
Which I didn't pick up on at the time.
I don't know. That was my relationship with watching it was good. This is not for the fans. This is for the haters.
Yeah.
He did this for the haters. And I was, a soft hater. Just in the sense that like, Joker wasn't that great. It got a bunch of Oscar nominations. He won Best Actor. It made $1 billion. It was like the 3rd best comic book movie I saw that year. And it just had a lot of smoke blown up its ass at the time. So for me, the idea of a sequel to that movie that all of its kind of irritating young male fans probably won't get a lot out of is satisfying. This film has a couple of things going for it, in my opinion, which are good musical numbers, like okay musical numbers, use of great songs, like 2 pretty good, okay performances from Joaquin and Gaga. Things that I don't think Joker fans are going to really take a lot away from. What it lacks is big, thrilling, violent scenes, crazy carnage on the streets, bar like a couple of fake outs. Like, I think the things that people loved about the first Joker that probably felt radical to people who only watch superhero movies are really lacking from this.
It kind of continuously almost builds to something, then shuts it down immediately.
Yeah. Like, it's teasing, it's to use the parlance of our times, edging the audience with little hints of chaotic climax that it consistently stops just short of and goes, no, what if we just spend some more time moping around prison with these mentally ill people? Like, about 25 minutes into it, I kind of went, oh, right. This is just a sad film. This is a sad film about a sick man.
Yeah.
And then it never really stopped being that. It just kind of dove into a couple of pockets of like, there's a courtroom drama, and there's some hallucinatory musical scenes, and there's a romance that doesn't really work out because both of these people are just mentally not there. And ultimately, it spoiler alert, has a very violent and morbid ending for the Arthur character.
It also, I don't think at any point either is the possibility raised that he's going to be let go from his case.
Not at all.
It's a closed case from the day out.
It is such a downbeat,
complete dead rubber,
dead end story.
Yeah.
If there is even a story in this film, which there barely is.
No.
It's just watching a delusional character. I use the word character loosely. The people in this film are not really developed as characters.
No.
But they are faces. And it kind of is just about like a mental patient reckoning with his, death penalty that awaits him, with some distraction along the way.
Not dissimilar to Suicide Squad Joker and Harley.
Well, I was thinking about Suicide Squad, and I was like, this is a lot more fun than Suicide Squad. And like this film that is basically like fucking... what's that fucking Hillary's, or what's the Billy Bob Thornton? Monsters Ball level depressing movie about people waiting to die is a lot more of a fun time than Suicide Squad, because at least there is imagination.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that this film has like a thing it's trying to do, which is which is done with contempt for the audience, maybe a bit of contempt for the studio funding it.
Yeah.
There is a sense of like, you're going to give me money to make another one of these? You fucking idiots. Okay, we'll take the money. I think that's coming from Phillips and from Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, like the kind of your Marvel heads, nothing will kind of annoy them more than like this is like CinemaSin's worst idea of a film.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point.
Yeah. But it's also completely like, oh, you want a sequel? Oh, okay. So you want us to revisit the specific events of the first movie in detail in a courtroom environment, overanalyze them, bring back minor characters that you don't care about, and just completely dig into the first movie because you love the first movie, right? So you want us to do that.
The second one is nothing. It's just it's a discussion of the first film.
Yes.
And
which is,
they just throw some musical numbers in there to kind of like...
It's like if you like to make the trailer look interesting.
And
it's
kind
like,
of take any seriousness.
Yeah, it's like if you like the first movie so much, come on in. We're going to talk about it in great detail. And have absolutely nothing to say.
No.
Now, The Matrix, you did mention The Matrix Resurrections, which is similar. I found The Matrix Resurrections just stepped over the line for me where I felt personally insulted by it. And like The Matrix Resurrections was probably made by a filmmaker with much better intentions. Yeah. I mean, the reason The Matrix Resurrections was made was because the Warner Brothers threatened to make a new Matrix movie without the Wachowskis' involvement. Yeah. And Lana Wachowski was like, nah, fuck that. All right, I'll fucking do one. I'll do one. And then made a film in which characters literally say on screen, we don't like the Warner Brothers company and how they keep mining the Matrix for more IP regurgitate. Yeah. Like there are scenes in that film where people are like, you fucking stupid people want more Matrix movies, right? I thought that was like, I was just like, you're too smart for your own good. Like, fuck off with this. And that film was like deeply boring. But the thing is, that film also has like 45 minutes of really boring action scenes because Lana Wachowski doesn't really know how else to fill a 2-hour film. Joker Folie Deux has like more interesting stuff than just long action scenes because what it's doing instead of that to fill time is these musical numbers and kind of this developing this, I'm not going to say character again, but this Lady Gaga figure who kind of pops up and is just sort of like Joker girlfriend who is clearly, I don't know. Lady Gaga's doing a lot with her face in this, which I always like to see. She's got such a great actor face. She does. So watchable, as is he. But I guess what I'm saying is the stuff that this movie does to fuck up, to, piss off the audience interested me more than what The Matrix Resurrections did. So Matrix Resurrections for me is like a 1-star film, and this for me is like a soft 3-star film because I just like respect the hustle of taking Warner's money after this huge success, winning the Oscar, all of this, and then making something that realistically nobody is going to love and is the least rewatchable film ever made, probably. I can't think of a soul who's going to want to see this more than once. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Also, because there's like no plot and no tension, it means there's absolutely no room for any like supporting characters to make a stamp on this.
Not at all.
Like, what's the industry guy? Harry Lawton?
Harry Lawty.
Harry Lawty.
He does some fun like buttoning of jacket work.
He does.
That's all he does.
He does, but he's like
really stringy. He's this real skinny guy with a real English face, but playing American, which is something I always like. He's doing the Matthew McFadden shit, like
sure, but like the thing is, with like the court case in this is that it's so settled and it's so obvious that he's just killed all these people.
It's a funny court case.
He did it on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
So he just gets up and is like, yeah, the prosecution rests. That's it. There's no.
He's arguing with a man who's wearing clown makeup in the courtroom.
So he does the right thing and just stands there.
Yeah.
And does nothing.
Yeah.
And he gets convicted.
It's an anti-performance. Like,
it's an anti-performance.
And this film is like anti-plot, and I respect that. But
it doesn't humor his antics at all. Trying to make this into a serious film.
Yeah. The only other people in this with speaking roles, apart from Phoenix and Gaga, are we'll quickly glaze over Brendan Gleeson, who just plays an Irish dickhead cop police guard who just kind of there I guess
he's there to kind of facilitate a little bit of sympathy for
a little bit of sympathy, but there also has to be a person pulling Arthur from one room to another because he just stand there all day. He's just like a crazy guy who's dead behind the eyes. So Brendan Gleeson just kind of picks him up and brings him places and is like, Arthur, I'll give you a cigarette, you're funny.
You're going to the courtroom now.
Yeah, like Brendan Gleeson playing himself in this. I mean, I guess they probably wanted him to just do his Banshees thing and his the guard, but he's not even doing his the guard character.
Weirdly inconsistent accent.
Yes,
and
it's not a good performance.
It's not.
Then Catherine Keener plays the lawyer,
but also doing the Harry Lottie thing where she's like,
this is all so obvious.
All of this is so obvious. It doesn't make sense.
She seems to have good intentions for Arthur. Like, she tries to get him out of this awkward interview.
She tries to get him an insanity plea.
Yeah. Like, we talked about how great she is on our Begin Again episode. Yeah. She is, like, out of focus in every shot she's in this. Like, I feel like every time she's in the frame, Joaquin is in focus and she's out of focus. And that pissed me off because she is a wonderful actress.
Yeah.
Then you've got Steve Coogan, who I thought was playing... from the trailer, I thought he was playing... like a psychoanalyst. He's playing a news reporter who's interviewing the Joker. I didn't think that scene worked. You slept through a lot of it. You were the scene, like he was just snoring.
Apologies. I
poked him
I flew back from the United States yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
So I'm a little bit jet lagged.
But that scene was so uninteresting. He's like, Joker, I don't like you. You're a criminal. You've killed loads of people. And the Joker's like, yes, I did.
This thing was being live streamed.
Yeah. It was already on TV.
Why would they put him in front of a reporter?
Yeah, they didn't need to put him on TV again. His whole problem is that he was let on TV.
Yeah.
I do think this film lacks De Niro presence. But anyway.
Like the judge does nothing.
So the judge, I was thinking about this judge. You got this guy, Bill Smitronov, as the judge. Maybe some listener's going to tell me, oh, that's my favorite actor. I love Bill Smitronov. That was a missed opportunity for a good actor. You could have got anyone in the world to play that role.
I thought they should have tried to get Martin Scorsese to play
Maybe
that
they should. They could have got Joe Pesci to play that role. He looked like Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci'd fucking do anything.
Yeah. Frank Langella played the judge in Chicago 7. He would have been good.
But again, the problem with the character is it falls into the same thing as the Catherine
Of course.
Catherine Keener,
he's on autopilot.
He's autopilot
not a character.
because he knows the non-main characters understand that they're living in reality while the rest of them aren't. So they're just like, buddy, you're going to jail. Like, I don't need to rile you up here.
Yeah, I mean, the parts of the film that are more interesting are the imaginary parts with the singing, and then the bits in the real world are just kind of okay.
And because no one really questions him in the real world, he has no opportunity to say anything profound or make any sort of message. Like, there's nothing to this film in terms of
the film ends on such a hard note of you're never getting a third one. Yeah. How dare you ask? That I think it's actually very funny that they set up Harvey Dent in this movie. It's like, oh yeah, okay, cool, thanks for that. But then the first movie did the same thing with Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
Who shows up for like 5 minutes and the Joker goes to visit him at the gates of Wayne Manor. Like, these films kind of dip their toes into the Batman universe in a way that feels very anti-franchise and anti-shared universe, which I do quite kind of like. In a world of Deadpool and Wolverines, it is refreshing for a film to be so uninterested in tying into other iterations of things. Now, what was I going to say? I don't understand. Is this film set in Gotham or in New York?
It's in Gotham.
Then why do they say the state of New York versus Arthur Fleck? And why were there... Because the fucking Chrysler building is visible in like every establishing shot. And Rikers Island.
I think Gotham is a nickname for New York in real life. Outside
but where is this film set? In a fictional city?
It's in New York.
Or in a real city? What does it say on the internet? It doesn't. It just says
honestly, I'm surprised they just didn't throw in a few overhead shots of Chicago just to kind of fuck with us.
Yes, exactly. The budget of this film, 190 to 200 million.
Fuck off.
I gotta see those. I gotta see those accounts.
Yeah, they reshot.
That's a real 10,000 candles situation. Like, where did the money go? So Joaquin got 20 million.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I guess Todd Phillips probably got like 10 or 15.
Yeah.
I think Gaga, I heard, got 10 or 12.
Yeah.
So we're talking, 35 million there. So where'd the other 160 go?
This is a courtroom drama.
There's nothing in it. There's courtroom scenes. There's musical scenes that are very small scale.
Yeah.
They are so small scale.
They're staged.
They're much smaller scale than anything in La La Land.
Absolutely.
They are one from the heart level, like soundstage, two
highway,
people. Yeah, no
stuff
massive.
on the streets.
Yeah, there is one or two scenes shot outside the court with massive crowds. Those are
not even massive though.
Well, those scenes cost you a few million, fine.
Sure.
And then there's like the stuff at the end where he's like, the car, he gets driven away and all this bomb goes off and there's smoke everywhere.
Yeah.
That's an expensive scene. But the rest of this movie is like 2 or 3 people.
Like, did they fucking blow up the building for real? And
yeah, because I don't think they did, in like little prison sets. So like I dare say like money laundering afoot. Like I'm genuinely not sure what happened here. That is insane.
I think what they did is they shot the entire film and then decided, let's shoot the entire thing again, but Brendan do a different accent.
Yeah, exactly. They must have made it twice. This is the how do you know problem, the the Nicholson Reese Witherspoon thing, where they just made the movie twice, because that's the budget of 2 movies. Yeah, it's insane, absolute scam artist.
Like the end of this is such like they have this big explosion. Yeah, he escapes from the
this guy dressed as him grabs him into a car.
Then
actually a really good scene. I thought it was riveting. Yeah.
Then 5 minutes into this, he crawls out of the car, and 2 minutes later, he's back in prison.
Yeah,
and then
and then he dies. The film ends. Good stuff. I liked it. It's a good. It's a good film.
There's another half hour coming of like a riot. Yeah, and because the guys in the car are like, they're going to burn the city down.
Yes,
and all
yes.
It just doesn't happen.
Now, bless the people over at Warner Brothers Pictures. They've really tried to make this seem like there's something else to it.
I think they did a good job of that, though.
They've got. So the poster campaign up until recently was like ballroom dancing. They're on a stage, they're dancing, and they're in love, and made it look like a full-on musical romance. I'd say
they made it look like it expands into this thing where they get their own TV show. Yeah.
I would say like 25 minutes of this film is in the musical zone, and then the rest of it is like a prison and courtroom movie.
Yeah.
I think they've pivoted in the last month. They've like hard pivoted after the Venice premiere and the reviews into this new poster, which is like, they're like, there is a city and they're like walking around. Like it's really different to the like dancing on a stage.
That looks like a video game.
Yeah. Now they've just got this poster where the two of them are just like standing on a street with some buildings behind them.
It looks like it's a heist movie poster.
It makes it look like a heist movie, or honestly, it's kind of like, courtroom drama vibes. I think it's a nice poster. I think it's like a nice, it's simple poster to show off your 2 actors and have nice color scheme.
I think I'd have enjoyed it more if I knew this was like a courtroom drama in advance.
But I think that this is them tempering expectations.
Yeah.
I think that this poster is like...
Okay, we're making the poster bland.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're turning the saturation down. No more ballroom dancing as the highlight. They literally replaced a billboard in the middle of Dublin with a different billboard.
Which is insane.
They took down the ballroom dancing one and put up this one. I've never seen a film have one poster replaced with another one on an outdoor advertising spot during its run up.
This poster also like doesn't make use of like New York skyline in the background.
No, it doesn't. It has like a couple buildings to just be like, this is down and dirty. I think they're doing 2 things here. They're leaning away from the musical stuff and they're leaning away from the Batman, DC, Joker universe stuff. Like there's basically nothing here that's got to do with the DC Comics brand of Joker. This is just, there's a movie with Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. They're crazy people in it. I don't know. And the Phoenix and Gaga names are like really, which I love. I love this shit. This is Boy Party 101.
Yeah.
The surnames are massive on the poster. Like, great. And you know what? Fair play to Joaquin Phoenix being a guy who just goes by surname on posters now.
Yeah.
Her first name being Lady makes that even more fun.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of fun stuff involved in this, but anyway, whatever. They pivoted to this new vibe.
Joaquin and Lady on it.
Joaquin and Lady. So obviously we love the post where it says Streep Hanks.
Yeah.
But there is a poster from the last couple of years where they put the first names bigger than the surnames, and it was for Fences, where the poster was Denzel, Viola, and then in smaller letters underneath Washington Davis. I thought that was interesting. Because that's a movie about like a married couple sitting on their front porch.
Yeah.
And the idea of giving the first names makes it feel kind of
homely. Like.
Yeah, it makes it feel homely, I guess.
Yeah.
I liked that. Also, Denzel is like a great actor to do the first name bigger with.
People know him by his first name.
But you can say the same about Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Who we should dive into for a few moments, because we've never done him on the podcast before. No. There's actually a few fun Joaquin movies we could do, but, we're probably not going to get around to them. So he is now probably, I was thinking during the film, like, what am I going to say about Joaquin on the podcast? He's replaced Sean Penn in the last 15 years as the weird leading man in Hollywood. He's the guy who can play crazy people, autistic people, kind of...
people who would be institutionalized,
but also like throughout history he can play the freaks and the outcasts in a way that the more conventionally charming leading men cannot.
And it doesn't seem like an extreme gimmick.
No.
It's kind of his...
And he's kind of methody, but not too much. Like, we've just talked about Jared Leto's insufferable process. Mm-hmm. Joaquin Phoenix is I think, a bit difficult, but he's not known for being, like, a fucking freak who shows up and shouts at people and throws shit at people. I think his issue is more so that he gets all muttery and quiet and disappears and then drops out of films a week's notice or whatever. Like, he's got an introvert problem rather than an extrovert problem that Jared Leto has.
Yeah.
To our knowledge, never done any real harm to anybody. Seems like a nice guy.
Animal limb sent to anyone on the set of this.
He's a great animal rights advocate. I think he's like a vegetarian. He seems to have a really nice marriage to Rooney Mara. They have a child named after his late brother River. I think his whole backstory with his brother dying young and stuff like gives him a kind of an interesting, like, sad aura about him. Like, comes from this interesting family. I used to really dislike him because I think I put him in that Sean Penn bracket. I was like, oh, this guy's always doing some shit. Like, he's always doing something. I think the first film I maybe ever saw him in was Inherent Vice, which says a lot about me, but like, that was 2015 I saw Inherent Vice, and I was like, oh, this guy's so annoying. Like, he must always play these characters. And then the last couple of years, I've really come around on him, where now I'm like, oh, he's super watchable. He's got such an unusual face. He's got the mannerisms of a character actor that I would like, but he gets cast in...
He's enough presence to be a lead.
Big movies like this because he has enough presence to be a lead. And that's really nice and fun. And he's obviously worked with Paul Thomas Anderson and people like this. He's great in Come On, Come On. Mm-hmm. My favorite performance of his. You haven't seen that, right?
No.
It's so good. It's this Mike Mills movie from 3 or 4 years ago.
Good uncle-nephew movie, isn't it?
Great uncle-nephew movie where basically his sister... Gabby Hoffman, she plays Adam Driver's sister. She plays Joaquin Phoenix. She plays the sister to every guy with a weird face because she too has a weird face. He's basically like the brother who's like a podcast producer, radio producer, and her husband is like in the mental hospital. So she's like, could you come mind my son? And then Joaquin Phoenix is just like going around recording interviews for his podcast with the nephew and just minding this child. And it is such a nice role for him because he gets to just be really natural in like a modern setting. It's not like a genre thing or a historical thing like people associate him with. And he's just like hanging out with a kid, and he's awkward in every moment, but he's also got lots of warmth to him. And in that moment I was like, you know what? This guy is lovely. He's got a lovely vibe. He's got a gentleness to him that people like Sean Penn really don't have. Yeah. And I like that a lot. The first couple years of his career, he was playing a kind of a second fiddle to a bunch of big leading men. So he's obviously in Gladiator, where he plays the villain, I guess. The famous thumbs up, thumbs down kind of guy. Mm-hmm. And in the Gladiator 2, they seem to have made a huge effort to cast this other guy who looks exactly like him.
Very similar.
Like Barry Keoghan was meant to play this role. Barry Keoghan dropped out, and I think they just decided to like replace Barry Keoghan with a Joaquin Phoenix doppelganger, which is interesting because I guess he's playing his son.
It seems like they're I don't want to say they're leaning on Denzel and leaning on likeness to Joaquin Phoenix to try and support this, but we will see. It's interesting, like, because I guess if you had to cast a young male actor who looks like Russell Crowe, I don't think your first thought would be Paul Mescal. But also, I don't know who looks like Russell Crowe. I guess you would go Australian is what you do. Yeah, you just get Hemsworth or one of his kind. Like, I don't know. But anyway, then he plays the second guy in Signs with Mel Gibson, which he's really good in. Mm-hmm. And then the first movie I ever saw Joaquin Phoenix in was actually Brother Bear. Oh, yes. Where he voices the bear, the guy who turns into a bear, like a Native American character, I guess. He's in The Village, where he plays Lucius, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, which is Lucius not his name?
A fun time.
Gladiator?
No, Lucius is Mescal's name.
Lucius, yeah.
Then he is in Ladder 49 with John Travolta. Like, he's the second lead in loads of these movies with these other guys, which is kind of what Colin Farrell's thing was. Yeah. And then they give him big leading role because he's been in like 3 or 4 huge blockbusters at this point. He gets to play Johnny Cash in Walk the Line. And for years, I was convinced he won an Oscar for this, but he didn't. He lost to Hoffman for Capote, and Reese wins the Oscar for that. And I've never seen it because I don't want to watch that. That sounds boring. This is a James Mangold picture.
Johnny Cash isn't even a monkey in it.
No, he's not even a monkey. Like, why would I watch a biopic of a musician who's not a monkey? Like, Mangold obviously has done the new Bob Dylan, Timothy Chalamet thing where Bob Dylan is not a monkey, so that's unacceptable. Yeah. Then he's in this movie. Then he's in We Own the Night with Mark Wahlberg. He's in Reservation Road with Mark Ruffalo. He's in Two Lovers with Gwyneth Paltrow. He makes a bunch of these James Gray movies. Now we're up to 2010 where he disappears for 2 years, comes back with a beard and pretends that he's become a rapper, makes this movie I'm Still Here, directed by Casey Affleck. This is the set on which Casey Affleck committed his heinous acts. And this is a film that I recently watched and thought was truly...
This was 2012?
10. I thought this was dreadful.
Okay.
This is a terrible mockumentary.
I didn't realize his crimes were that...
Casey Affleck's, This is a mockumentary about Joaquin Phoenix pretending to be a rapper. If you want to dislike Joaquin Phoenix, this film will help. It makes him seem very irritating. But let's not worry about that, because then he works with PTA on The Master. Then he makes Her. This was the stuff that was like, Her was why I didn't like him. Like, Her is a very mannered, annoying performance. And he's just got a stupid mustache and a stupid outfit. He's doing an annoying voice. It's an annoying film. There was
something about him. I think it was the hair that I was like, he kind of reminds me of John Cazale a little bit.
Sure, I think he'd love that comparison.
Yeah.
I think his run of like being in things with these other guys was his John Cazale moment.
Yeah, he's doing it with De Niro.
Yeah.
He's like...
And John Cazale would have like loved to have aged into being what Joaquin Phoenix is now.
Yeah.
John Cazale lived another 10 years, maybe he would have got a Napoleon movie, you know? Yeah. But then Joaquin does this fucking god-awful Woody Allen movie called Irrational Man, which is like definitely Woody Allen's worst film. Okay. It's him and Emma Stone. It is just like, if a person who thinks Woody Allen is a nonce wants evidence, watch this Joaquin Phoenix, Emma Stone age gap movie. It's just going to piss you off. Like, it's annoying. And then he does, You're Never Really Here, Don't Worry, You Get One Far on Foot. You know, if you look at it, you're like, why did Warner Brothers gamble on him being in Joker? Like, I don't understand why they thought that was a good idea in 2019. He wasn't on an upward curve. No, he was on a downward curve. He's in Mary Magdalene, Don't Worry, You Won't Get Far on Foot, The Sisters Brothers. These are his movies leading up to Joker.
He hadn't like a commercial hit leading up to this.
Not at all. His last commercial hit was Her, 6 years earlier.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that they let Todd Phillips make that film with Joaquin Phoenix.
Do you think he was first choice?
I think he was Todd Phillips' first choice. Okay. I'm not aware of there having been another choice, unless I'm being silly. But like, Joaquin Phoenix, he lost weight. He lost weight for both movies. Joaquin Phoenix has expressed interest in doing a film about the Joker in 2014, before Phillips conceived of it. Because you see, Marvel tried to get him to play Doctor Strange, and that actually got really close to happening, and then he said no. And then I
don't think I could imagine him doing the Doctor Strange shtick next
Not
to Tom
at
Holland.
all. He could never do that shtick. He couldn't be in Marvel. He doesn't have the vibes for it at all.
No, it would come off like him doing Joker.
Yeah, exactly. And then after Joker, he wins Best Actor at the Oscars, which is completely insane. And this is one of the only times an actor has ever won an Oscar for performance and then reprised that role in the sequel. Obviously, Pacino, Godfather, Hopkins in the Hannibal movies, but it doesn't happen that often.
And did they get repeat nominations?
Pacino did. Not Hopkins did not. Okay. But he's not getting nominated for this. But it's an interesting one. And then after Joker, he's a fucking bankable lead, and now we get Beau is Afraid, Napoleon, and onwards and upwards.
Yeah,
we're gambling huge money on a movie where Joaquin Phoenix is the face on the poster.
We had him fifth in our draft.
We did, and I think that is good for cinema.
I agree.
I wish he hadn't dropped out of the Todd Haynes movie. It sounded like it would be good. He is in the next Ari Aster film, Eddington, with Emma Stone, Pedro Pascal, blah, 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 blah.
This is basically a Todd Haynes film.
Yeah.
He does Kiss a Man.
Yeah. This is like my second favorite Todd Phillips movie after Hangover 3. Due Date is better than this. Let's do a quick Phillips ranking.
Are we going to have to do Due Date in this podcast?
Phillips rank. I think we are. Yeah. Phillips ranking. All right, so here's the Phillips movies in order, and you can rank them for me. I assume you've seen most of these.
Sure.
Okay, Road Trip I haven't seen.
Who's in that?
I don't know.
Okay, never mind then.
Tom Green.
Yeah, skip that.
Okay, Old School.
Grand, yeah.
Starsky and Hutch is a stiller we never did. I've never seen it.
It's fine. It's one of these.
He didn't direct, but he does have a story credit on Borat, but that doesn't count. School for Scoundrels.
Haven't seen that.
Oh, It's really bad. Okay. Billy Bob Thornton and John Heder.
Yeah.
Hangover, Due Date, Hangover 2, Hangover 3, War Dogs, Joker, Joker 2. It's great. You've seen almost all of those.
War Dogs is solid.
I liked this more than War Dogs. I thought War Dogs was boring. Okay.
I think if you put me on an airplane tomorrow and you had War Dogs and Joker 2...
Well, obviously I'm watching War Dogs before I watch Joker 2. That doesn't mean it's better. As I said, this is the least rewatchable film ever made.
And unfortunately, when something is not rewatchable,
you don't want to rewatch it.
Does not sit in your mind fondly.
My ranking, number 1, Hangover 3. Hangover 3 is great crack.
Yeah, I agree.
Has a similar vibe to this of like, oh, you wanted another one? Oh, fuck you. Okay, number 2, Due Date.
We're going to set up all these action sequences and
just abandon them. Number 2 is Due Date.
Okay.
Number 3 is Joker Folie Deux.
Sure.
Number 4, very narrowly behind, is the first Joker.
Yeah.
Number 5, I'm going War Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 6, I'm going...
Old School?
Hangover 1.
Oh, Hangover 1. Yeah.
7, Old School.
Yeah.
8, Hangover 2. And then 9, I'm going School for Scoundrels. School for Scoundrels...
Starsky and Hutch, you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. Yeah. Everything that I hate about Hangover 2 is like in School for Scoundrels, but worse.
So he made a film called Old School and School for Scoundrels.
Yeah, like 2 years apart. Like,
what's School for Scoundrels about? Is it a high school, college?
So School for Scoundrels. Let's do a little deep dive into this.
Right,
we're at 36-minute mark. Roger, played by John Heder, star of Napoleon Dynamite, is a downtrodden meter reader. So, like, he's a parking meter guy.
Yeah.
Subject to ridicule from coworkers and regular denizens. He dreams of dating a foreign grad student who lives in his building, just like Joker. To overcome his lack of self-esteem, he signs up for a course taught by Dr. P, Billy Bob Thornton, where him and his classmates are constantly bullied, who likes to use outrageous and unethical methods on them, including humiliation. Some tasks they are required to do are quite cruel and primitive. Dr. P will destroy him if his progress is too fast, just like he has done for one of his former students. So it's basically like him being tortured by Billy Bob Thornton in a classroom.
It's like Whiplash for dating.
Co-stars Louise Guzman, David Cross, Sarah Silverman, Michael Clark Duncan.
That sounds fantastic.
I watched it during COVID and I found it to be like a hateful homophobic film. Like just every joke in it was like, oh, fucking gay, haha, gay. Like I really, really hated it. Hangover 2 has the exact same problem. All right. Anything else to say about Joker Folie Deux? I think there is. I think it is going to underperform at the box office.
Yeah.
I think that they have done their best, but they cannot make people go see something that clearly is not intended for a mainstream audience.
Honestly, like if this is deliberate, this is a good achievement by Todd Phillips.
I think this film achieves exactly what it sets out to do. I really feel that way about it.
Complete control.
Yeah, he got
final cut on this.
Final cut on this. Like he made this. The DC logo doesn't even come up at the start. This was like he was reporting directly to Warner Brothers film heads without DC's involvement. Complete final cut on this.
To get on this.
Yeah, he had complete final cut on this. Like this was a Christopher Nolan level, creator driven project. Yeah. I don't think that he has failed on any of the things he was trying to do here. He got good actors. They gave good performances.
But he may very well have left like $300 million on the table.
Absolutely. Like, and he will not be given a $200 million blank check to make another film at Warner Brothers. I don't think. I think after this now, the vibe on him as a A-list director will have soured into this guy likes to take risks and we don't really like what happens when he does that.
He might get a couple of 30, 40 million.
For sure. He'll be fine. But I don't think one would be taking a huge gamble now on this guy who clearly likes to stick his middle finger up to people, He's being a bit of a stinker.
But if he comes back again, he's like, I want to make a $60 million comedy from the director of The Hangover.
He'll be fine. Absolutely fine.
He'll get that.
Especially if he keeps working with Bradley Cooper. Did Bradley Cooper produce this film? Because he produced the first one and he got one of Bradley Cooper's many Oscar nominations is as producer on the first one. He actually didn't produce this one.
Even if he's buddies with Gaga.
Yeah. I think we haven't really touched on Gaga in this. I think Gaga is fine in this. We have discussed her in length in our Star is Born episode. She's only been in 4 movies, so there's not much else to say about her. She is...
Again, because she's not in the first one, it kind of limits what she can be in this because there's no room for it.
Yeah. She's got an interesting career going on where there's so few films that she's in that I feel like it is an event every time she's in a movie, which is the dream. She's pulling a great trick on the film industry of every Gaga.
It's complete scarcity.
Every film she's in, people are now assuming she's going to get an Oscar nomination for. Like, that's a really impressive position to be in. She's literally, this is her 5th film, and only her 3rd lead role. It's incredible. So she's got nothing lined up. So whatever she comes out with next is going to be another big event. She brought out an album on Friday to tie in with the release of this, which I guess was just like part of her pay package for this. And it's just
original songs or covers?
No, it's just the songs that are in the movie, but just her singing them.
That makes sense.
It's not the soundtrack of the film. No. That's a separate thing. Like, there's no Joaquin on it. It's just her singing Get Happy and, you know, The Joker and all these other songs that are in the film. Great songs, and Close to You by the Carpenters. Great film if you want to just hear Burt Bacharach songs and Sergio Mendes and all these great songs being performed in cinema. You also get to see about 2 minutes of The Bandwagon projected on a screen, which is great because I know Arthur Levant has not been on the screen in multiplexes around the world in 60 years. Anyway,
this opens with a cartoon sequence.
It opens with a fake Looney Tunes and the Looney Tunes theme, and that's fun, but they don't really do much with it. Could have been better. Kind of
is there to piss off the audience a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Really through,
and it's also like you came to see a DC Joker movie. Like, here's something that isn't that, you know? Yeah. That's all I have to say about it. Would I recommend people go to see it? No, I would not. I would not.
Unless you're a hater of the first film.
Yeah. If you want to, I guess if you go to a packed screening of it full of bros who love the first movie,
you might just get bad vibes.
You might get satisfaction watching them be frustrated. Yeah. This is better than Megalopolis, and it's better than Beetlejuice. So it is by no means the worst film currently playing in cinemas.
Yeah.
You agree with me? You think Beetlejuice is better than this? Are you on 1-star territory with this film?
No.
Surely it's better than Beetlejuice. I think it just has...
Sorry, yes, absolutely.
It's got more competent actors in it, just to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think I've softened on Beetlejuice because I watched something right after it that was even worse. What was it?
I don't know. What did you watch right after it that was even worse? You didn't see Megalopolis.
What did I see right after?
We must have watched something.
I don't think it was a cinema thing. I think it was just like...
we did watch something right after it. Beetlejuice. That's the last thing we watched that was... Oh, we watched Suicide Squad.
Sorry, that was it. We watched it. How could I forget? Sorry, and that unfortunately rose my thoughts on
Beetlejuice. Fair enough. All right. Well, that's the end of Joker month, everybody. Yeah. We're not going to do another comic book movie forever. There were
a lot of fucking stinkers in this season. We're sorry.
Right, number one best movie we did, a Joker month.
Is it the Keaton?
I think it might be. I think the Keaton might be better than the Dark Knight. I would watch that Keaton again, tomorrow. No problem. It's an easier watch than the Dark Knight.
Sure.
Sillier.
All
right, those are kind of tied number one.
Yeah.
Then this very last place, Suicide Squad.
Does the film live and die by its Joker performance?
All of these films?
Nope.
No way. I don't think so.
No.
I think the things that are good about The Dark Knight would be good with a different Joker performance. I think the things that are bad about Suicide Squad would be bad with a better Joker performance. This film absolutely lives or dies by Joaquin Phoenix, though.
Yeah.
Which is a testament to his command of the project. He's in every frame of this film.
He is.
I don't think there's any scenes he's not in.
He does the best with what he's given here.
For sure.
This is an anti-film.
So exactly.
It's not meant to make him look good.
Yeah,
he still succeeds.
He doesn't I don't think he overdoes it at any. There's no point where he goes nuts with the laugh or the mannerisms. I think he actually plays it down in a way that I really respect. He's not trying to get a second Oscar here.
No.
The first film I found him trying that, and now he's just vibing and I have my Oscar. I'm just hanging out. I'm taking my 20 million home and I'm buying a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Buying a nephew.
We're back next week with a movie that does not feature the Joker. Thank goodness. Check out our bonus episode we did, the Best Actor draft. People are loving it. People have strong opinions, and we talk about Joaquin Phoenix on it.
Who won our poll?
I won by a landslide.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'll give you the breakdown of votes, but I can assure you that 2 people voted for you, and you were both in the same room at that moment.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thanks for tuning in. BoyPartyPod.com. Follow Boy Party Pod on all social media. Tell your friends to listen to the show, and we'll be back very soon. Bye-bye.